Welcome to Larry the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, 5 great background vocalists in hard rock and heavy metal. These are band members who their background vocals really contribute to the sound of the band. This was a little tricky because I didn't want to pick people who occasionally sing a lead vocal but don't add to the background vocals of the band. For instance, Ringo Starr with the Beatles. I also didn't want to I tried to keep it so that maybe if some of these singers here, some of these band members, they do sing some lead vocals, but they're definitely not known as a main lead vocalist in the band. Okay, I think you'll get what I mean here as soon as I get started. All right, my first pick, his background vocals in this band, when you really sit down and listen to them, are absolutely incredible. The way he sings, and that's Chris Squire. And yes, amazingly, Chris has an amazing voice on his own. And if you've ever heard his solo album, Fish Out of Water, you hear what an amazing range he has, what a unique voice he has. And once you hear and recognize his voice, you can really pick it out in their vocal harmonies. He often sings below John Anderson because John Anderson's voice is so high, but there are times where he jumps above John Anderson, which is just absolutely incredible. I was watching a live video of Long Distance Runaround, and he sings these great parts underneath them, and then there's times where he actually jumps higher than John Anderson's voice, so it's absolutely incredible. There's tons of movement in his background vocals. They're just incredible when you really listen to them and key in on them. And he's always in tune. I listen to live recordings. He's always in tune. He's always right there. He's always very present in their sound. So Chris Squire is a good example of this for me. I don't know every Yes album, so there may have been some times where he sang a lead vocal, but for me, it's really just about his background vocals and what a big part they are in the sound of Yes. Okay, next. This one is almost cheating a little because he's almost like a second lead vocalist in this band. But to my knowledge, and I don't know every song from this band. I don't know if he ever really sings just completely on his own. I think there are a few songs in their catalog where he does that. But for me, I just think of him as his background vocals being such an important part of this band. And that's Jerry Cantrell and Alice in Chains. And again, there are times where he does sing lead vocals, but for me, it's when he's blended in there with Lane Staley. It is just the sound of Alice in Chains to me. Besides the sound of Jerry's guitar and Lane's unique vocals, it's the sound of Jerry and Lane singing together that really creates the Alice in Chains sound for me, and totally unique for this time. I remember the first time I heard them, that's what jumped out at me was the sound of their background vocals. So haunting, the way they harmonize with each other. It's very unique and very, very cool. All right, next for me is Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. He's another guy that you can just absolutely pick his background vocals out of the band, and he's become a part of the sound of the band. Him and John create sort of the Bon Jovi sound, and I can always pick his background vocals out when I'm listening to a Bon Jovi album. All right, next, this may be the vocal harmony band. And out of my picks here, these may be the guys, and there's 2 of them here in this band. They weren't in the band at the same time. Did sing lead vocals in very recognizable hit song lead vocals, but I picked them because, well, let's just get to it here. The Eagles. And I'm thinking of their 2 bass players, Randy Meisner, I'm not sure how to say it, and Timothy B. Schmidt. Both of them had these super high, clean voices, and the Eagles are maybe, again, the king of vocal harmonies. And although they both sang lead vocals on various things, to me, it's their background vocals that, again, define the sound of the Eagles. The Eagles almost have a trademark on their own vocal harmonies, the way they sing. But even though these guys sang lead, when you've got Don Henley and Glenn Frey in the band, those guys are clearly the lead vocalists. But the way both of them, Randy and Timothy B. Schmidt there, had covered those high harmonies. Think of Seven Bridges Road, with Timothy B. Schmidt, I believe, is in the band at that point. Man, it's just something else. And I can always pick out those high, clean harmonies from both those guys. So the Eagles. All right, number one. This is maybe the king of this guy's background, and he has sang no leads in this band. He is the king of this, what I'm talking about right here, and what inspired this video. His sound is so important to the sound of this band. Again, he's almost like a lead vocalist in the sense that his background vocal sound really defines this band. Can you guess who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Van Halen and Michael Anthony. His background vocals, I mean, you probably hear it in your head. Think of any Van Halen song and you can hear Michael Anthony's voice there in the background vocals, in the choruses. And a lot of times, especially live, if you hear clips live where Dave struggles to keep up, it's really Michael Anthony's voice that carries a lot of the choruses in the songs. And even Eddie's background vocals are great too. I could have put him down on this too, really the combination of Eddie and Michael Anthony. But for me, it's Michael Anthony because of the way his tenor voice just jumps out in the mix on any Van Halen song. He's just crucial to the sound of Van Halen. All right, there you go. 5 band members whose background vocals are really important to the sound of the band. Let me know what you think of my picks. Let me know some of your picks down below. And hey, while I'm here, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm pushing my way towards 5,000 subscribers, and I'd like to get there. So if you're watching the videos and you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Till we see you again, make sure you rock hard, ride free.